Hello, everyone, and happy Halloween. I hope you're all having an extra spooky day today. Halloween is by far my favorite holiday, and so to celebrate the spookiest, scariest day of the year, I challenged my Discord to make art of their greatest fear. And it was a smashing success. I had a lot of fun seeing everyone's fears and how they expressed it through their art. Really, I could not have picked a better first challenge for all the wonderful artists in my Discord. So, in today's video, I'm going to be honoring all of their brilliant art and talk a little bit about each one. And at the end of the video, I'll even share art that I made of my very own greatest fear. With that being said, let's jump right into it. So, our first submission was a lovely little piece from Foxera. Foxera's greatest fear is having a bunch of cellar spiders on their head. Certainly, this is a fear that I did not know that I had until now, and it's oddly specific, I will admit. But I do not blame you at all. It sounds terrifying, and you did a really great job of expressing your greatest fear. The background is really nice, and the expression is great. Thanks so much for sharing your art, Foxera. We really appreciate it. And now on to our second submission. This is a beautiful painting from our very own Alternate Existence. This art is a manifestation of Alternate Existence's fear of self-sabotage. Painted at a time in their life when their anxiety was really bad, the art speaks for itself, and that's fantastic. You did a really great job. Alternate Existence. Self-sabotage is certainly something to fear, but never stop believing in yourself, and if you're ever feeling really anxious, just remember that I believe in you. Thanks so much for sharing your beautiful painting. It's really great. And so on to our third submission today. It comes from the artist GJV, and their greatest fear is one of paranoia. It's a very creepy feeling when you feel like you're being watched. There's something really brutally primal about it. I grew up in a house isolated in the woods, so I know this feeling very well. You know, when you're out in the woods, the feeling of being watched was always enough to make me want to just take off running in a sprint. So thanks for sharing your lovely illustration, GJV. I empathize with it greatly. And next on our list is the fourth submission from Dredge with a fear as old as time. Death. Death was a very popular fear in this challenge. However, Dredge was the first, and he labeled it as the scariest thing possible. Dredge has chosen to personify death as a grim reaper with a very epic scythe and a pyre of fire in the background. Although I do not fear death itself, I definitely do fear dying, and I want to live. Yeah, I love living. Life is great. But regardless, excellent work, Dredge. The Reaper looks absolutely sick. Thanks so much for sharing your dope art. It's amazing. And so we move on to the fifth submission from Marrow. It would seem that Marrow could not decide between the fear of bugs and the fear of failure. So really the greatest fear would be failing and then being punished by a swarm of insects. Insects were also a very popular choice in this challenge, but you did excellent work, Marrow. The bugs look absolutely terrifying. I've always thought that the praying mantis was an especially creepy insect, and you captured that feeling very well. So thanks so much for sharing your expression with us. For our sixth submission, we are met with a spooky classic, The Fear of Ghosts. Yes, my good friend Demeter666 is terrified of ghosts, and she has done a wonderful job expressing that fear with a ghostly apparition in the doorway while she sleeps. It's very creepy. The next time she comes to visit me, I will definitely be forcing her to watch a scary ghost movie. So sorry for that. Thank you, Demeter, for this spooky work of art. It's great. I love it. The seventh submission today is another imagining of a fear previously on the list, the fear of death. However, thanks to the beauty of art, it is an entirely new take on the great fear. Here we have a wonderful piece from Veggie Chip that portrays a fat and smoking Garfield that seems to be haunted by the specter of death. And that is a sentence I never expected to say in my life. I love the colors in this one. It's really excellent work, Chip. Thanks so much for sharing your cool vision with us. Shiba Soup has provided us with our eighth submission. and their greatest fear is a zombie apocalypse. Truly, one of the classics. I love zombies. And Shiba has decided to draw a zombie Pepe to represent their fear of the zombie apocalypse. And poor Pepe, you know? Really an unfortunate casualty of the greatest fear art challenge. His brains are showing. No, not you, not Pepe. I didn't want him to be a zombie, but thank you, Shiba Zoop, for this horrifying display. The next submission, the ninth, is probably the most unconventional on the list. However, it truly did spark fear in all of our hearts in the Discord. None of your business. What have you created? I feel like I am staring into the abyss, and it stares back. Make it stop. I'm going insane. But thank you, regardless, for your disturbing cat thing. It is truly unbelievable. And now for our 10th submission from Hunter. I think that's how you say it. It's HNNTR. Hunter. A menacing bee. He really looks pissed. Hunter wanted to clarify that he did like bees, but was just terribly afraid of them at the same time. Really, it is wasps that should be feared. Bumblebees are adorable. I want to hug them. But yes, wasps and hornets can burn in the fiery pits of the bad place. I was stung by a wasp on the lip as a little boy, and I have held a grudge against them ever since. So thank you, Hunter, for sharing with us your fear of tiny flying buttholes. My roommate, Beanies Are Cool, actually submitted our 11th and final piece of greatest fear art, and that is the old fear of heights. He says that he can go up a ladder, no problem, but if he looks over the edge of the top of a building, he starts to feel woozy. I don't think I've ever felt woozy when up high, but I certainly get the creeps when I look over the edge of a cliff, especially if there are 3 skulls down there. It's very spooky. But thanks, Beanies, for sharing your beautiful work of art. And so that'll do it for my Halloween Discord challenge. Those of you who participated, I thank you all so much for doing so. It was so much fun. I really cannot wait for our next challenge. It's going to be great. And hopefully we're going to have some contests in the future with cash prizes and things like that. But, oh, that's right. I forgot to show my very own art of my greatest fear. So let's take a quick look before we go. Really, my greatest fear is loss, but I didn't really want to draw that since I kind of already have on the channel before. So instead, I went with one of my most intense irrational fears. Aliens. I've had recurring dreams throughout my life of being visited by extraterrestrials, and the feeling of dread that it puts in my heart is truly unmatched. In my dream, I'm always alone in a house out in the woods, and the house begins to shake, and a low hum is accompanied by a blinding light outside. Literally, just talking about it right now is giving me the chills. I hate that dream, and I have it pretty often. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Your support means the world to me, and I couldn't ever hope to express it properly. Please, if you haven't already, feel free to join my Discord. We have a wonderful community growing as we speak, and we'd love to have you over there. Share your own art and look at other people's art, and you can talk to us, and we can just hang out in general, and it's a great time over there. Happy Halloween to you all. I hope you get plenty of treats and scares this year. Until next time, I love you all. Goodbye.